So, a couple days ago, I received my Lectric XP 2.0 electric bike. And I've only got about, I think, 20 something miles on it. And dog's inspecting it. Anyway, I bought some accessories from Amazon, and I'm gonna see if they actually work. So I received from Amazon this big Lufu folding bike lock. But there was a surprise. This SigTuna also was in the package. I guess I forgot to take it out of my cart. And I believe that I like the SigTuna better because it was yellow, it looked cool. But the reason I thought I picked the big Lufu is the big Lufu has mounting points where you can put hardware through, and I believe the SigTuna does not. But since I received both, I'm going to open them both and see what the real story is. And of course, there's the AirTag bike mount, which supposedly goes and picks up the holes for a water bottle, and I want to see if that'll work on this bike, since there really aren't holes for a water bottle, but there are holes, and I'll show you in a second. So this bike doesn't have a water bottle mount. You usually find those on the, I guess right around here, but down there you can see a couple of screws. And they do sell a lock, a folding lock, that mounts to those two screws. And it's $50 in May. The locks that I bought are like $33. And I want to see if one of them looks identical, except doesn't say Lectric on it. And then I'm hoping that AirTag mount works there. If not, I'll get a different one and stick it somewhere. Bond it somewhere probably. Anyway, let's see how this stuff works. Okay, we're going to start with the big Lufu. By the way, the links to all these will be in the description. Alright, let's see, let's open this thing up. Okay, it comes with straps. You need to strap it on. I'd rather not strap it on. And there's some keys in there. 3 nice keys. Wow. Huh. Fancy. Okay. And the lock is much bigger than I thought. Let's see if there's ooh, there are mounting holes right there. But they're curved. Well, let me go check and see if that's going to work. Okay, it looks like the distance between the holes on the bike measures about 2 3/4 inches head to head. If you look here, these holes are slightly slotted. So from middle to middle, it looks about a little under 2 3/4, but the slots will take care of that. The curvature looks like it might work because it is on a tube, so I think there's potential here. The only other question would be, do the bolts fit through here? So I'll have to take a look at that. I think at this point I want to take a look at this SigTuna lock and see what that looks like. Okay, so here's the SigTuna. I don't know if it's got anything to do with fish or significant fish, but I'm not sure how they got that name, but I don't know. Okay, so there's one piece of tape holds it, just like the other one. It comes in this foam-like wrapping. Oh. And you can see it's yellow. Oh, it's got the mounting points too. These look like it's made by the same people in the same factory. The big Lufu and the SigTuna. Let's take a look at these. Yeah, big Lufu, SigTuna. The price is exactly the same. SigTuna. Yeah, they are identical as far as design that I, just by looking at them. What else is in the box? You got, let's see here. You got the straps. You got 3 of the same looking keys. Huh. What's this? Oh, mounting screws. There you go. The other one might have mounting screws too, but I might need longer mounting screws. So now the issue here is, the big question is, how does this AirTag fit underneath these? Because it was saying it fits in their water bottle mounts, so it may not work. But let's take a look. Okay, here's the bike mount for the AirTag. How does this open? Okay, well, I'm not so sure this is gonna work. It appears to be flat. How that goes into your water bottle, I don't know, because I don't know. Let's see, that's definitely flat. So the thought on this was you put your AirTag right there. It's got a little O-ring right there to keep it dry. I do not think this is going to work, and I'll tell you why. So this mounts on a tube. This mounts supposedly under that tube. How? I don't know. That's not going to work. So we'll have to look for another solution for the AirTag. So we'll at least mount the lock today. So after looking at this further, I do think that this will fit on these curved locations. You know, that will actually work. The real problem is the screw length. This is the longest screw they give you, and they're special screws. They got a little bump in the middle. Don't know if you can see that. Oops, there we go. And you've got a special wrench here that's got a little recess that can fit into it. This is anti-theft, right? So these are special. You can probably buy these at the hardware store to get longer ones, but you can see that it's kind of difficult to even access this. You'll see later in the video that installing these, are at least on the non-step through versions, are a little bit tricky. Anyway, so I'll put that through there. And through there you can see there's not enough protrusion. So I think this might be able to work. Definitely on the step throughs, I think this could work for sure, either by itself in that location, or with the amount like this on the step throughs, because step throughs have a lot more room down there. The non-step through, like I have, that bottom screw is going to be a bear to put in. You'll see later in the video, but that's the main reason that I'm not using it for my non-step through bike is the length of the screws. I didn't want to go buy more. Plus, even if I did, the accessibility is so bad for one of the screws that I doubt I'd get it in. But you'll see later in the video. Okay, first thing I had to do is take that hardware off. So you can see it's pretty buried down here. So you're not going to be able to use one of these little beauties or one of those. You need one of these to get down in there. So how do you know what size it is? Well, what they did was, there's some screws back here, if I can focus, right here. Oops, right here. That are the same size. Oops, it's not focusing, sorry. They're the same size. They come on the rack that comes with the bike. So whatever fits in those screws will fit in those screws. And I'm not sure the size right now. Oops, sorry. These screws are right here. There we go. But I'll tell you in a minute. Okay, so what size are these? Looks like, so this one here, this is a 5/32. And I have a metric set in the garage, but I didn't pull it out. But this fits really well. So I would say you get yourself a 5/32, 90-degree Allen like this, and you're going to be fine. Next thing we're going to do is got to take the lock out. I think I've decided on the yellow one because I think the bike needs a little more color. So you just take this as rubber. You take this off of here, slide this out, and there's your lock. This one's got a coating on it. I think that one might have a coating too. I don't know. This one in the ad says, oh, we got this coating. It's not going to scratch your bike, if I recall correctly. This one, I don't think, this one over here, I don't know. You know, it feels like it does. It may, yeah, it looks like it does have the same coating. Made in the same factory, you know, is my guess. So anyway, we'll get back to how to use this lock because I've never used one before. All right, so we're going to install this, and you can see it gets a little tricky because we got to reach in there for the screw head. It looks like it's doable, but let's see. Okay, so we're running into a little bit of a problem. So this is, by the way, the non-step through model. Okay, if you go on the Lectric site, it shows their locks, which again looks like it's identical to these. They show mostly them fitting on the step through model, which has a lot more open space here in the back. These models have a lot less. They do show it mounted. There's a picture showing one mounted to this model. And you can see, here's a little bit of an issue. Not a big one. But you can see these are standoffs down here. And so this curve is supposed to go up against, you know, the tube there. In fact, it's not even an exact fit. But they're going to be on the standoffs, which I think is okay. I mean, it looks like, if you look at the mounting surface there, it's flat, so it can go either place. And if you look really closely on their website, you can see a little bit of a gap between the. They took it at a weird angle, but it looks like there's a gap between this curve here, and the frame, and that tells me that they just bolted onto these standoffs. But an issue you run into is that there's a little zip tie right there. And the head of it, when they put it on, was over here. And it interfered. So I just pushed it and rotated it out of the way. And it makes a much better fit. So I think this is going to work. Oops, I put it in wrong. I think this is going to work. It's just, it's going to be pretty tight in there to get the screws started, but we'll give it a shot. Here we go. So you're going to see there are two washers on the bike. Typically a flat washer, these are flat washers, are used to protect the surface of the part you're bolting on. Typically that would be protecting it from like a split lock washer. In this case we don't have a lock washer, but I'm looking at that post down there, and it could be, you know, there could be some chafing. There it is, as the bike goes down the road. So I've elected to use one washer under the head of the screw, put the screw through the plastic mount, and then this washer, I'm going to see if I can get it to go between that standoff on the bike and the back side of the plastic mount to try to keep the amount of friction and erosion down. So, but it's not easy, right? There's gravity and things fall. So the fix for that is that's where this comes in. This is expensive Vaseline, basically. If you have some Vaseline, white grease, anything like that, if you put a little dab on there, on the parts that you don't want to fall, they'll stick together. It's an old mechanic's trick, and that should work pretty well. So we're going to give that a shot. Well, I finally got it in there. I'd say if you have one of these non-step through models and you don't know enough swear words, learn some, because you're going to need it. So what I ended up doing is a compromise. I got a screw, I don't know if you can see it there, at the top there's a screw. This is the one that came with the bike, but I could not get that bottom one in. So I've got kind of a compromise. Like I said, I got a screw at the top, and then I used the Velcro band on the bottom here to hold it, and that seemed to work. But it's not easy. You know, you've got to, you can see that the wrench here, not a whole lot of room. You can't go straight into it because you run into the fender or this crossbar. If you wanted to put that screw in the bottom, what I would recommend is take one of these Allen wrenches, and you might have to customize it. You might have to cut it off, which I could do. I have a bandsaw and a sander and everything, but I didn't want to go through that trouble. But if you cut it off at the right length, you might be able to get it in, the straight part in, this way. But I can't say that'll work. I don't know. But this seems to have worked. Although now I see I have a little problem at the bottom there. I can see, if you can see the strap, it's actually not in the right place. So I need to reposition that strap real quick. Okay, I repositioned the strap. What I did was, here's the Velcro strap. It came out the hole and was in the holder and around, which will block the insertion of the lock. So I just wrapped it around, and this is a little long here. I am a little worried about it getting into the chain. I just tied it up there. I might just cut it off, but we'll see. But it fits. Let me go get the lock. Okay, here's the lock, and it slides right in there like that. Now you still have a problem with this little rubber holder here. You can reach down and pop it on, but it's a little tricky to get off. But you just grab one side and you do it, and you can take it out. So let's figure out how this lock works. Okay, so here's the lock. So it's a folding lock, so it is folded. So you take I've never done this before, so we're learning together. You take the key in here, turn it 180 degrees, and it should unlock. Ah, there it is. Unlock that piece. See that? It unlocks. So you wrap it around your bike and around whatever you want to lock it to. Slide this back in. That's relocked, and then you fold it back into itself and you throw it on the bike. Just like that. And then this goes on here like that. And you're done. Okay, so today we were 50% successful. The lock did fit. It took a lot of work on this non-step-through frame. Like I said, if you've got a step-through frame, shoot, it'll probably take you 10 minutes to put 2 screws in. So I think this will work just fine on the step-through. On the non-step-through, it does work, but you've got to do it's going to be a pain, but it works. You know, the strap on the bottom, screw on the top, that ought to work. The AirTag holder was a bust. There are several more on Amazon. I'm going to go return this one and grab another one and see where I'm going to put it. So we're 50% successful, and I will put another video up when I resolve the AirPod thing. And also, there's an alarm for this, which I do have, and I'll make a video for that. Thanks for watching.